Ever wondered why some people make it look easy, breezing through life with financial confidence, while others struggle, living paycheck to paycheck? It all comes down to a few critical choices. Today, I'm going to share the 5 biggest personal finance mistakes to avoid at all costs. Avoiding just one of these could mean the difference between stress and financial freedom. Stick with me until the end. You won't want to miss this. Mistake 1. Living above your means. Let's start with mistake number 1. Living above your means. This is hands down one of the most tempting traps, especially when you're young. You land your first solid job and you're thinking, finally, I deserve a little luxury. Whether it's a new car, designer clothes, or eating out every weekend, it all adds up. But here's the kicker. Living above your means isn't just a habit. It's a mindset that can hold you back from real financial growth. And in today's world of social media, it's way too easy to compare yourself to others. You see someone posting photos of their expensive vacation or brand new car, and suddenly your own life feels less than. So you end up spending more just to keep up. Quick experiment, try counting how many treat yourself expenses you have each week. I bet it's more than you'd expect. It's like Netflix subscriptions. Suddenly, everyone's got 4 of them, but no one knows why. But seriously, living above your means might feel good now, but it can create a vicious cycle where you're working harder just to fund things you don't really need. Real wealth? It's about spending intentionally and knowing when to say no. Ask yourself, do you want to look rich now or actually be rich later? Mistake 2. Not building an emergency fund. Moving on to mistake number 2. Not having an emergency fund. This one might not sound glamorous, but it's critical. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs. Your car breaks down, a medical emergency pops up, or your job situation changes in an instant. When that happens, are you ready? Or does your stomach sink because you know you'll have to turn to credit cards? An emergency fund is your financial safety net. It doesn't have to be huge to start with, but just having that cushion can give you peace of mind. Financial experts recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Now, I get it, that can sound intimidating if you're just starting out, but even $500 can be a good start. How many of us are guilty of thinking, nothing bad's gonna happen to me anytime soon? Don't worry, we've all been there. But ask yourself, would future you appreciate the security of an emergency fund? Without this buffer, you're stuck relying on credit cards, and that quickly leads to interest stacking up. An emergency fund protects you from that, giving you control. So, start small if you need to, but start. Your future self will thank you. Mistake 3. Ignoring high-interest debt. Mistake number 3. Ignoring high-interest debt. This is one that sneaks up on you. Credit cards, payday loans, or any debt with high interest is essentially money draining out of your pocket. You might think, I'll get to it when I have more money. But here's a hard truth. Interest is relentless. The longer you wait, the more you'll pay, and it just snowballs from there. One of the biggest mistakes people make is making only the minimum payment, thinking it's good enough. But with high-interest debt, paying the minimum is like trying to run on a treadmill that's getting faster. You'll exhaust yourself without ever getting ahead. Here's something you might not realize. Paying off one high-interest debt can actually feel like a pay raise. Imagine finally freeing up that money each month instead of watching it disappear to interest. So which debt are you going to tackle first? If this sounds like a lot, don't worry, there are strategies like the avalanche or snowball method to help. The goal is to tackle the highest interest debt first and build momentum as you go. Mistake 4. Delaying investing. Now let's talk about mistake number 4. Delaying investing. Some people think investing is for later, like it's only something you do once you have a certain amount saved up. But here's the reality. The earlier you start, even with small amounts, the more time your money has to grow. And the power of compounding is mind-blowing. Your money earns interest, which then earns interest over and over. Take this as an example. If you invest $100 per month starting at 25, you'll end up with a lot more than if you started at 35, even if you're investing the same amount each month. This is because time is your biggest asset when it comes to building wealth. Think of compounding as a snowball rolling down a hill. By the time you're 60, you'll have either a massive financial snowball or a pebble. Your choice. The takeaway? Don't wait for the perfect moment to invest. Start with what you have, even if it's small. In the long run, that decision can be life-changing. Mistake 5. Not having a financial plan. Finally, mistake number 5. Not having a financial plan. This one's huge. Imagine going on a road trip without a map. You might end up somewhere, but it's probably not where you wanted to go. A financial plan is your roadmap to wealth. It helps you set goals, track your progress, and make decisions that align with what really matters to you. Having a plan doesn't mean everything is set in stone, but it does mean you're not making random decisions that could lead you off track. Whether your goal is to retire early, buy a home, or travel the world, a financial plan gives you clarity and focus. Imagine a version of you who's financially free, able to make choices without stress. That's what a financial plan can do. So, are you ready to start planning? Whether it's mapping out debt payoff, budgeting, or investment goals, having a roadmap keeps you moving forward in the right direction. So, we've covered the top 5 personal finance mistakes that can make or break your journey to wealth. Now, you know what to avoid. But the question is, what are you going to do to build real wealth? It starts with understanding one of the most powerful tools in finance, compounding. I have a video right here that dives deep into how compounding works and how you can make it work for you. Click on it to learn more, and remember, every financial decision you make today has the potential to impact your future. Let's make it a wealthy one.